All right, I'm coming.
Hello, Bennett.
Henry, I didn't know you were in town already.
I just arrived this morning. Since I was Derek's nearest relative, it was up to me to close the apartment and dispose of his personal things.
Well, I'm sorry you're here on such a sad mission, but it's awfully good to see a familiar face here.
I saw Hester before I left, and she asked me to deliver this to you.
Thank you, Henry. Well, that's what I call fast service.
I was glad to be of help.
Sit down. I ordered up a pot of coffee. Can I interest you in a cup?
Well, thank you, Bennett, but I can see you're working. I don't want to interrupt.
I wish you were interrupting something. I can't seem to get started this morning.
I imagine it's difficult working amid unfamiliar surroundings.
Yeah. Can't seem to feel anything but out of place here in New York.
Well, you'll get back into things once you get back to Norwich.
Yeah.
Where's Lisa?
Would you believe she's out shopping? I hardly even see her during the day.
She's enjoying herself, huh?
She loves New York. I wish I could say the same, but I just can't. Everything's so fast, so cold and impersonal here. Well, even Oakdale's too big a city for me.
Well, that's something you two will have to agree on before the wedding.
Oh, we'll work it out. Lisa loves living in the country as much as I do. Funny.
What is?
Ruth and I discussed the same thing before we were married. She insisted she'd love living in the country, but...
Bennett, if I were you, I wouldn't think about anything concerning Ruth. Lisa is a totally different woman, despite a strong physical resemblance.
I pray every day of my life that that's true.
Why don't you just put your work aside while you're here and concentrate on Lisa?
I want to finish the book before we're married. Since we're getting married in 2 weeks.
Is there much more to do?
No, not much. I started the last chapter the day we left for New York. Although how that chapter ends is really up to Lisa.
I hate to tell you this, but we better get to Grant's office and pick up those papers and then think about getting you to the airport.
All right, let me just check and see if I've forgotten anything.
Dana,
Yes?
I love you very much. And I really want what's best for you.
That's being your wife.
Well, I tried calling Jay at his home again this morning. Still no answer.
What about the crew down the shopping center side? Surely one of them must know where he is.
Well, the foreman hasn't seen Jay in 3 days. And today's payday, and the foreman is not sure what to do about that.
I just can't understand. Jay would disappear like this without letting anybody know.
Well, Dad, I hate to say this, but it's just another indication of what I suspected all along. Jay is trying to pull a fast one on Ralph.
Don, look, I still think it's too fast to jump to those kind of conclusions. I mean, Jay could turn up and have an explanation for all of this, a good one.
May I say something?
Yes, Mary, go ahead.
Well, it just strikes me that the most obvious thing is that he's gone to New York to be with Carol and Amy for Thanksgiving.
But, Mary, he would have certainly told somebody if that's what he planned to do.
Not necessarily. I mean, maybe he decided to go at the last minute and he was excited about it and forgot to tell anybody.
Well, that could be logical. Mary, would you know how to reach Carol in New York?
Ooh, I know she's staying with her father. I don't know the number, though.
The bookstore would have the number, Mary. Why don't you call and get it from them, all right?
Good idea, thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Well, Ralph is over the bank right now trying to get a loan to cover the payroll and keep work going on the site. Now, as his lawyer, I advised him against doing that, but he insisted anyway.
Well, I know I'd probably do the same thing, Donald, if I had that kind of money in a project as Ralph has in this. I mean, you know, any kind of delay, it puts him in a really big bind.
Well, I just hope that Jay is with Carol. I'd like to find out what this is all about before I leave.
Well, how's the trip to San Francisco coming along?
Well, just fine. Tom's going to take care of most of my work. Although there's a couple of things I would like to take up with you two before I go.
Well, look, I have an appointment in a few minutes, but when I'm free, I'll get in touch with you, all right?
Fine.
Well, I can help you now, Dad. I can work with you until I hear from Ralph.
Good. Well, let's go to my office
All right,
then.
fine.
Excuse me, Bob and Dana are here?
Well,
Hi,
son, how are you? Well, I understand that you're going to be leaving us today, huh, for a while.
For a very short while. I'm going to be back as soon as the lawyers say I can leave.
Well, have a good trip, dear.
Thank you. Oh, and be sure and tell Nancy. Thank you for the best Thanksgiving dinner I can remember.
Well, I'll certainly tell her that.
Now, that's the kind of compliment Mom can live on for weeks.
No, really, it's true. I can't tell you how many Thanksgivings I spent on the road. We always had dinner at a nice restaurant. But I always envied people with homes and families around
Well,
them.
now that you're going to be a member of the Hughes family, you're going to celebrate every holiday with us.
Thank you.
See you when you get back.
Okay.
See you later, Dad.
See you later, Grant.
Bye-bye, Chris.
Oh, excuse me, Donald. I have Melinda on the line, and she does have the number.
All right, fine. I'll take the call in my office. See you all later.
All right. Please, sit down.
Now, Grant, you said you had some papers for me to take along?
Everything you're going to need is right in here, including the name of the man who will take care of everything.
And should I call him as soon as I get there?
No. He'll meet you at the airport, see that you're checked into a hotel. The divorce is fairly routine. All the papers are in order.
Well, I hope this friend of yours isn't tall, dark, and handsome and sweeps Dana off her feet.
I don't think you'll have to worry about a thing, Bob. A man in his 60s, a wife, children, lots of grandchildren. Very good lawyer.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Grant.
Well, you can thank me by inviting me to your wedding.
All right, you'll get the very first invitation. I had better go call Ian.
You want to use the phone?
No, thank you. I don't want to get in your way. I can call from the reception desk.
Thank you, Grant.
Bob, look, could you stay? I want to talk to you a moment while Dana makes the call.
Oh, sure. I'll be out in a minute.
Okay. Bye, Grant. I'll call you when I get back.
Okay, Dana. Have a good trip.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sure you'll be happy when all this is over.
That's the understatement of the year.
Look, the reason I asked you to stay, I wonder if you were planning to go to Lisa's wedding.
I'd like to, but I don't really think that's the place for an ex-husband.
Well, she invited you, and I know she'd like to have you there.
Well, Tom is going, and he'll represent the family. I think that's enough.
Well, I'll admit it to you, Bob. I'd be very happy if you were there.
You still worried about Bennett Hadley?
Well, maybe I shouldn't be, but yes, I am, after a conversation with Tom a couple of days ago.
Why? What did he say?
Oh, maybe I'm overreacting because of my feelings towards Bennett, but Tom made that point again that no one has seen or heard from Ruth Hadley since the night she supposedly ran off with Martin Blake.
Supposedly?
Well, with Martin in the state he's in, I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to find out what really happened.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Henry. And I expect you to call later about having dinner with Lisa later tonight.
I'll do that. Oh, Bennett, I wish you'd keep in touch with Hester while you're here. She's alone at the inn, and I can't help worrying about her.
I'll call her tonight. Oh, and thank you so much for the envelope.
Ah, it's my pleasure. And give my love to Lisa.
Will do. Damn these headaches. It was all the talk about Ruth that brought this one on. That and the memory of that awful night when I found out what she was planning to do.
Hello?
Oh, hello, Barbara.
Glad to see you.
Yeah, I was downtown shopping. I thought I'd stop by and say hi.
Good, because I was going to call you up anyway. Need to talk to you about something.
What?
Well, I've made a pretty important decision about my life yesterday. I need an objective opinion.
What decision?
I'm going to get my freedom from Beau. I've decided it's really pointless for me to go on hoping and waiting for something that will probably never happen.
I think that's very wise.
I'm not even sure what lawyer I'm going to use. But I'm going to make it very clear. I do not want any kind of financial settlement at all. I can do just fine here with my job.
Melinda, does Matt have anything to do with this decision? I know you've been seeing an awful lot of him.
No. He's a nice guy. I do like him a lot. But it really couldn't be anything than just a good friendship.
Are you sure? I think he really likes you.
I know. That's why I broke it off with him. I don't want him to think it could be anything more than what it is.
Well, at least you know what you want.
I know I don't want to get seriously involved with anyone right now.
I didn't see Sheila out front when I came in.
No, she's at the hospital branch. In fact, she'll probably be there most of the time between Christmas and now.
I ran into her over there the other day. I must say she's looking quite radiant. In fact, she told me her life was perfect in every way.
Barbara,
Look. Don't say I told you so, okay? She's entitled to her own life, too.
I know. I just have the feeling that things are getting quite serious between her and Tom.
Yeah, I gathered that, even though she didn't put it into so many words. I guess things, turn out the way they do for the best. I'm just glad I didn't do anything to confuse the issue.
Have you talked to Tom at all?
Only secondhand. Kim saw him over at Nancy's the other night, and he said to send me his best.
Terrific.
How come you weren't there? I thought sure you'd come with Kim.
Yeah, I was invited. But I knew the Stewarts would be there, and I feel kind of funny about that whole situation.
Hi, Barbara. How are you?
Gloria,
Yes, Mrs. Landrigan?
do you see that woman who just came in?
Yes, what about her?
She looks just like, what was your partner's name? Ruth, wasn't that it?
Yes, she does. It's a striking resemblance. Well, I'll send that Chippendale chest to your estate in Long Island the 1st of next week.
Oh, Gloria, I thank you so very much. It was exactly the piece I was looking for.
Well, I'm very glad I was able to locate it for you. You've been such a wonderful customer for so many years.
Well, I remember the very first time I came into this shop. Oh, you weren't even here.
That's right.
It was Ruth who took care of me. What'd you hear from her?
Oh, I haven't heard anything at all in quite some time, over a year and a half.
That's odd, isn't it? The two of you were so close.
Very close. I think about her a lot. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever hear from her again.
Well, you never know. One of these days she might just come right in here and surprise you. Gloria, I better be going. And thank you so very much for all your help.
Oh, goodbye, Mrs. Landrigan, and thank you.
Goodbye, dear. Thank you.
Goodbye now. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Can I help you with anything?
I don't know. I'm just, I was passing your shop and it looked so interesting and I thought, well, I'll just come in here and browse. That's allowed, isn't it?
Of course. Look around all you like.
Thank you. Actually, I am looking for a gift for my fiancé. I want to give him a surprise. He likes antique things and...
Well, if you find anything you like, you just let me know.
Thank you, I will.
I guess you noticed how cool Betsy was towards me a few minutes ago.
I couldn't miss it. She completely ignored you. Something wrong with you and Betsy?
Yes. I walked in on a party that she was having at the apartment while Kim was in Norwich.
At the apartment? I thought she was staying with Ellen while Kim was gone.
Well, that's just it. She and her friend Lois had planned to have a party secretly. You see, I found out about it when Matt drove me over to water Kim's plants. They were taking the roof off that place and drinking beer.
Did you tell Kim?
Betsy begged me not to. But when Kim asked me straight out, I had no choice. I feel terrible about it. What else could I have done?
Oh, nothing under the circumstances. But I know how you feel. I made a promise recently to someone that I wouldn't tell someone else something, and boy, do I regret it.
Well, thank goodness I didn't promise Betsy I wouldn't tell. I don't know what I would have done if Kim had asked me.
Well, I think you were smart. Someone's hurting because I cannot tell them the truth to clarify a situation that she doesn't understand.
Hey, why don't we go out to dinner tonight?
Oh, sounds great. Now that it seems that Tom's out of my life, I have a lot of evenings free. Very free.
I need to talk to you some more before I, call the lawyer. I want to talk things out so I know how I feel about it.
Well, why don't I call you about 6 and we can make our plans then?
Great. Thanks.
I want you to know I think you did the right thing in telling Kim. Doing the right thing can really put you in a lonely position sometimes. But if you believe it's right, you have to stand up for what you believe in, lonely or not.
I guess you're right.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye. Betsy, can we talk for a minute?
What about?
About what happened when Kim was away. I'd like to explain.
You don't need to explain. You told Kim after I begged you not to.
But Betsy, I told you I'd have to tell her if she asked me. And she came looking for me yesterday. She asked me straight out.
That's not how it happened.
Yes. All right. What do you think happened?
I think you couldn't wait to tell her. Just so Kim would think that you were something special.
Betsy, that's not true. But now that it's out in the open, I think it's for the best.
Yeah, now I'm not going to be able to have any more fun because of you.
Betsy, that fun you were having was wrong. You were getting mixed up with the wrong kind of crowds. You don't need to get a reputation for lying.
Like you did.
What?
I've heard lots of people talk about you. I know you took Annie's husband away from her.
Betsy,
And I don't think you were worried about my reputation at all. I think you just did it to look good in front of Kim.
Betsy,
Hi, Melinda. Betsy?
Hi, Matt.
What's going on? You look kind of upset.
I am.
Can I help?
No, I'll be okay. Thanks anyway. Hey, what are you doing here anyway? How come you're not at work?
I got off early today since Jay's not around.
Jay's not around?
No. Took off a couple of days ago and nobody knows where he went. So the foreman paid us all off and sent us home.
Well, does that mean you won't be going back to work?
Well, not till Jay gets back anyways. And I hope it's soon or he'll be losing a lot of his crew. Most guys can't afford to be laid off like this.
I'm sorry.
Look, Melinda, I'm the one who's sorry. I know I got a little out of line that night at Kim's.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay. You were upset. It only happened because I like you so much.
Matt, I just feel it's best if we didn't see each other for a while.
I was hoping that you'd let me take you out to dinner tonight, so I can show you that I can enjoy being with you without expecting anything more than that. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, Matt. I'm having dinner with Barbara tonight.
Melinda, Judy said to tell you she needs your help in front.
Thanks. Well, I better be getting back to work.
Yeah, sure. I'll talk to you later, huh?
Bye.
Hey, what's with you?
What do you mean?
Well, you seem kind of down. I mean, a pretty girl like you shouldn't go around with such a long face.
I'll get over it. I'm just disappointed in some people, that's all. I guess I should have learned you can't count on anybody.
Hey, I don't like to hear that kind of talk. And I'll bet your father wouldn't have liked it either. Yeah, I got an idea.
What?
Why don't I stop by your place tonight? Maybe you'll be feeling a little better, and you, Kim, and I can have a talk.
Well, I'd have to ask Kim first.
Well, why don't I call and ask her?
Okay. That'd be great.
Well, I take it you haven't heard anything from Jay yet.
No, not a word. And Mary tells me she hasn't been able to reach Carol either.
I think it's time we call the police.
Now, Don, I was just telling Mary, I don't want to do anything like that.
The sooner we report Jay missing, the better chance we have of finding him.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, but, you know, it could all be very innocent. And if the police, given Jay's background, hear about this, they could blow the whole thing right out of proportion.
Then what do you suggest we do?
I'd just like to wait. Just stand pat for a little while longer. We could hear from Jay at any minute.
Ralph, Jay could have skipped town for good. Now, if he's involved in something shady, he could have taken all the funds from the shopping center and left you holding the bag.
Don, I don't even want to think about that right now. Besides, Jay has Carol and Amy to think about. I just can't believe that a man who has that much at stake could just run off and risk losing his family.
Could be right. Maybe we can hang on just a little longer, at least until we're able to reach Carol.
You pick up your ticket, and I'll have time to buy a cup of coffee before you have to board.
Thank you and have a pleasant trip.
Thanks.
This will help you.
I have a reservation on your flight to Haiti. Dana McFarland.
Yes, Miss McFarland. Oh, before I ticket you, something arrived here for you.
What? Flowers.
Oh, someone wishing you a bon voyage.
But who?
Well, the card might give you some idea.
Oh, look how lovely. To Dana, a small gift for someone with a much greater gift than most. Ian. Isn't that a beautiful message?
Look, Ralph, I know you have a great deal on your mind at the moment, but I want to talk to you about something that has nothing to do with Jay or the shopping center.
Frankly, Grant, it would be a relief to talk about something else for a minute.
Good. Well, I want to talk to you about listing Lisa's house for sale.
She definitely wants to sell it, huh?
That's what I've been told by Tom, yeah. She's planning on living in Norwich, so she has no really reason to have a house here.
Well, she could always rent it.
Yeah, I know that. But, you know, rental property, it takes a lot of care and all that. Lisa doesn't have the time or patience to do that, you know. Anyway, Tom asked me to make arrangements to put her house on the market, so...
Well, it's a very nice house, and I'd be happy to handle it for you.
All right. Well, put the listing in and we'll see what happens.
Okay. You must kind of hate to give it up. There must be a lot of memories associated with it for you.
Well, there are, you know. Good and bad, but the thing I'm concerned about is how it will affect Lisa.
What do you mean?
Well, I just hope she's not jumping the gun, cutting all her ties off here in Oakdale.
When is the wedding, Grant?
Lisa will become Mrs. Bennett Hadley in less than 2 weeks.
Excuse me.
Oh, you seem to have found something.
Yes. I think this book would be just the perfect gift for my fiance.
Well, anybody who's lucky enough to get it will be very pleased. This is a beautiful old Italian volume. Has quite a history.
Oh, yes. I can imagine. I certainly do like the way it looks.
Well, I have the papers on it. I'd be glad to give them to you.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I'm sure my fiance would appreciate that, too. He does so love antiques. And he is a writer, you know.
Really? Have I read any of his books?
Well, he's just writing his first novel now, but I know it's going to be a big success. You see, this man who worked with a publishing house here, right here in New York, read it, and he was quite impressed.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you don't want me to stand here and talk about my fiance's writing ability. Would you mind sending this to me, though, in Norwich?
Yes. Yes, of course.
I really would take it with me, but it's a little awkward and kind of heavy to pack. And besides, he might see it. It would spoil the surprise.
Well, if you just give me the address, I'll be glad to send it off to you right away.
All right. To Lisa Coleman. Just make it in care of the Willows Inn
Did you say the Willows?
Oh, yes. Do you know the Willows? It's such a lovely inn. It's been closed.
Excuse me, but the man you're about to marry, would his name be Bennett Hadley by chance?
Yes. You mean to say you know him, too?
Oh, well, only very slightly, but his former wife was my partner here.
Ruth Hadley. That's right. She was your partner.
Yes.
Here.
Theoretically, she still is, although I haven't heard from her in quite some time.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, I knew that she had an antique place here in New York, but it just didn't dawn on me. Well, then you must be Mrs. Dunn.
Yes, I am.
Mrs. Dunn, I'm very sorry, but no.
Sorry?
I can't. Excuse me, I can't take the book. I don't think perhaps that might be the best thing as a wedding gift after all. It might be bad luck.
Well, if that's the way you feel about it,
Oh, it isn't that I don't like the book. I really do. It's just that if Bennett found out that I got it here, then... Oh, well, never mind. I thank you very much, but I guess I'll be on my way.
I think I can finish that sentence for you.
What sentence? What do you mean?
About what Bennett Hadley would do if he found out. You see, Ruth was very frightened of his temper.
Oh, well, believe me, I'm not frightened of anything about Bennett. That's ridiculous. And even if I were, I certainly wouldn't talk over with a stranger.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I remember my ex-husband, Grant Coleman, did come to New York, and he did talk to you about Ruth and about Bennett.
Now, the only reason that I talked to Mr. Coleman about Ruth was because I was also concerned.
Well, there's no reason for anyone to have any concern for me. I am going to be very happy. I am going to be married to a wonderful man and expect the rest of my life to be splendid.
Mrs. Coleman, please wait. I really would like to talk to you a little more. You see, Ruth was a very dear friend of mine, as well as a partner here in the shop.
Sure, but I don't know what this has to do with me.
Well, it's just that Ruth told me quite a bit about Bennett Hadley while they were seeing each other here in New York.
Look, Mrs. Dunn, I know that Ruth had problems with Bennett, but I'm sure they were all her own doing.
No, you didn't know Ruth. She was a lovely, gentle, warm woman. There was no reason for Bennett to behave toward her the way he did.
Oh, Mrs. Dunn.
I told her that she was making a mistake running off with him like that. But she felt that after they were married, his temper and jealousy would end.
Well, I'm sure if she had been the kind of wife he'd expected her to be, that everything would have been all right.
She wrote to me a few times from the Willows. Apparently, his temper became worse. She became quite terrified of him.
I don't wish to continue this.
No, something very wrong happened at the Willows with Ruth. It wasn't like Ruth to just disappear like that.
Oh, please. She didn't just disappear. She ran off with another man.
Oh, I know that's what Bennett claimed.
No, it's true. She ran off with this actor named Martin Blake. She left the Willows with him, and then shortly after she left with Martin, then she up and left him and went off with another man.
Mrs. Coleman,
No, this is
I'm
true.
sure that that's not true. I knew Ruth too well.
I don't think you knew her very well. You didn't know as well as you thought you did. Because she seemed to have this insatiable appetite for men. She really did. She was a completely immoral woman. Now, look, I know for a fact that she broke Bennett's heart. And then she caused this poor man, this Martin Blake, to have, well, he's now in a totally hopeless, catatonic state. It's all because of what she did.
Mrs. Coleman, I don't know where you heard that, but I can promise you they're lies. Look, I've never told this to another soul. Ruth promised me. I promised Ruth, and she asked me never to repeat this.
Well, then why are you going to repeat it now?
Yes, because it's about the terrible headaches that Bennett suffers from. She called me one night when he was having one. I could hear the terror in her voice, and I asked her what she was so frightened of.
All right, did she tell you?
No. She told me that she couldn't tell me then because she felt it would be disloyal to Bennett. But that she was writing it all in a diary that she kept religiously from the day that she met him. And that if anything ever happened to her, I was to go up to the...
I don't want to hear anymore, but I really think I should go.
Mrs. Coleman,
Please,
I'm
I'm sorry
finished.
I couldn't buy your book, and I'm sorry I took up so much of your time.
Ruth. Ruth. Ruth.